Hi, I'm Reverend Myron Jones with Pathways of Light. This is the second recording that I'm attempting, that I'm just talking about some idea from the course that has been very helpful to me. And today, what I've chosen is a paragraph or two from chapter 13, Attainment of the Real World. And this is the part where Jesus talks to us about our needs. And he starts off by saying, "Your Father knoweth that you have need of nothing. In heaven, this is so. For what could you need in eternity? In the world, though, he says that we do have needs." He recognizes that the Course in Miracles is very practical. So, yes, I think we all know that. But he also tells us that ownership is a very dangerous concept when left to the ego. So, and he goes on to say that everything the ego tells you that you need will hurt you. And certainly we've all experienced that in our life, is thinking that we needed something, um, asked for it, received it, and then we're sorry that we did. I think that I don't know, who was it, Garth Brooks maybe, who has that song "Thank God for Unanswered Prayers." So I was thinking about that, and I said, "Has that ever happened to me?" Well, of course it has. Um, I've had relationships which I thought, "Oh gosh, if I just had this man in my life, then I would be complete. This I would be happy then." And I got it, and I was wrong. That wasn't what made me happy. It did provide me with a lot of opportunity for healing, and I'm grateful for that. But the Holy Spirit meets us wherever we are, even whenever we um, choose with the ego, which we will do. um, he's right there saying, "Okay, well, let's use this to help you wake up." However, it was really good lessons for me, asking for things that I thought I needed in order to be happy, and discovering how wrong I was. So clearly, I was asking the ego, "What is it that would make me happy?" And of course, the ego is always going to say, "If only something were different in the world. Look outward, look out there and see what needs to change. Do you need more money? Do you need a better house, a nicer car, a better job, uh, other people's esteem? What is it? What is it that will make you happy?" And most of us try them all. We try everything we can think of to change the world so that it fulfills us. And that's just never going to work, because looking outward is always following the ego's guidance. So, what can we do instead? How can we have our true needs met, and in a way that will always be helpful to us? And he tells us this in chapter 12. He says, "Only the Holy Spirit knows what you need, for he will give you all things that do not block the way to light." And what else could you need? So I'm going to stop there for just a moment and say, it was such a relief to me to know that A Course in Miracles was not asking me to sacrifice what little I did have. It was saying that no, all your needs will be met. All you have to do is ask the Holy Spirit. So, of course, being new to the Course at that time, um, I was thinking of the Holy Spirit as being more like a fairy godmother. So I want the prince, I want the beautiful gown, I want to go to the ball. Um, and that's not what he's saying here. He's saying that he will give you all things that do not block the way to light. And there are many things, many of these paths that we can follow in our life that take us away from God, away from awakening, and get us caught up in another story. And those are not the things that we want. And we don't know. We don't know what is in our best interest. not if we're asking the ego. So we need someone who can help us, who can give us what would actually be of use to us and would not take us off onto another disappointing story. So he says, and what else could you need? In time, he gives you all the things that you have and will renew them as long as you have any need of them. He will take nothing from you as long as you have any need of it. And yet he knows that everything you need is temporary and will last until you step aside from all your needs and realize that all of them have been fulfilled. So we can trust the Holy Spirit to be doing what is in our best interest. We can trust him to give us to provide for us whatever it is that we have an actual need for. So right now, what I'm doing is I'm sitting here in front of my computer. I'm recording this video in the hopes that what I have learned maybe will help someone else or inspire someone else to look at something a little differently. And evidently, this is a need that I have because the Holy Spirit keeps providing this. I have the equipment that I need. He helps me figure out how to do this stuff because I don't know how to do any of it. But I just ask, I say, okay, Holy Spirit, so help me figure this out. Help me make this work. And that's exactly what happens. It's very easy. When I first started trying to learn some of this technology, it was, oh my gosh, I couldn't figure anything out. And I would get very nervous and anxious whenever I would try, and so I would avoid it. But then I started asking the Holy Spirit, just guide me, give me direction, help me to move through this easily. And that began to work. And so slowly, one thing at a time, I figured out what I need to do, and I do that. And if I have to learn something else, well, then I figure out how to do that with the Holy Spirit's help. So this is something obviously that I wanted, that was needed, and it's not hurting me. And I like this part where he says, um, it will provide them for as long as we think we need anything, because we're moving toward the idea that we don't have any needs, that everything that is needed is already provided. And that's what we're learning as we keep going to the Holy Spirit and asking for guidance, asking for help, just whatever it is that we need, he will provide, whether it's guidance on how to do something or guidance on how to acquire something that we're going to need. So it says he will take nothing from you as long as you need it. We've looked at that. Therefore, he has no investment in the things he supplies for you, except to make certain that you will not use them on behalf of lingering in time. He knows that you are not at home here, and he wills no delay to wait upon your joyous homecoming. We can kid ourselves, we really can, about what it is that we actually need. I know that one of those things that I thought I needed whenever I first started the course, well, before, for all of my life, was I needed more money. I never felt like there was enough, no matter how much I had, because I had a fundamental belief in lack. And so I always felt like I needed more. And sometimes I did actually need more, but I really couldn't tell the difference between what I really needed and what I wanted, what the ego was saying would make me happy. And so when I first began studying the course and realizing that I didn't know what was in my best interest, but that I thought I did, So I would still think, okay, I need more money, but then I would spiritualize it. And I would think, okay, I need more money because then I can do more. I can um, have a broader ministry. I can one of the things that I thought I wanted was to have enough money that I could build a center for A Course in Miracles, and people would come from all over and they would stay there. And I just had this wonderful imagination about what it would look like and what it would provide. And so I just couldn't understand why that wasn't coming, because that just seemed like such a good idea. But honestly, I just wanted more money. And I thought, if I want it for a good reason, then he'll give it to me. You see, but that wasn't where he needed me to go. That wasn't where this lifetime the opportunities lay. For one thing, long before I started taking on a responsibility like that, I needed to heal my mind. I thought I knew a lot just because I knew way more than I did before I picked up the course, but I didn't know anything. In retrospect, looking back on that, I think about what some I've heard people say that, a little bit of knowledge is dangerous. And I just had a little bit of knowledge. So it was perfect that need, that perceived need that I had was not fulfilled. It was in taking these little small steps in learning to let go of this belief in lack, that could not have happened if I'd just been showered with lots and lots of money. So I see now how perfect it was that life turned out exactly as it did. So that's a really important part. And another thing that comes into my mind is, how do we ask the Holy Spirit? Well, we stop looking outside to see what could change in the world that would make us happy, and realize that all of our happiness is going to come when we change what is within. So it's always, that is my the main um, focus of my life, is always turning around and going within. If there is something in the world that I need, then I trust. I surrender. I surrender my life to the Holy Spirit, and I trust that it will be provided, and that whatever I need to know in order to acquire something, if something is needed, that He will guide me to it. And that has always happened for me. It's been an absolutely perfect experience, even in those times whenever I ignored my guidance and went off on my own, thinking that I could make plans, and I could make everything happen. And discovering that I was wrong was an important part of my learning. So I've been very grateful for that. So what I do before I ask for anything is, instead of just like saying, okay, Holy Spirit, here's what I need, I say, Holy Spirit, what do I need? What do I need? You tell me. And then I know that I'm asking in perfect safety, that whatever it is that I need will be provided, and that it will not cause me to tarry longer in the world. I don't want anything that's going to be such a distraction that I would, it would take me off my path, take me away from my purpose. Um, I want only those things which will help me to fulfill my purpose, who will help me to fulfill the role that I came here to play. We all have a role. The next paragraph says, leave then your needs to Him. He will supply them with no emphasis at all upon them. What comes to you of Him comes safely, for He will ensure it never can become a dark spot hidden in your mind and kept to hurt you. Under His